Welcome back to part 4, guys. We get straight back into it, Chris. Something I want to ask you.
Yep.
It always intrigues me with referees.
Yep.
Referees, if maybe you get something wrong, but referees are always a target for a fan of a fighter that it doesn't go their way. So have you suffered any abuse in the ring or outside the ring?
I've had abuse at me, vocal abuse and so on.
Event on a Saturday.
Yeah. Or you've had the referees, this, that and the other, as you get. But overall, I'd say 99% of it, it's been okay. Because I have sort of tried to judge and sort of call it as sort of neutral and sort of equal and the correct way it should be. So
that's the thing about refereeing. Like, if you do a good job, you don't get any praise, no notice.
That's what you're supposed to do, isn't it? Yeah.
You do a bad job and everyone's on you. You stopped too early. And that's the thing. Like, you know, it's a bit of a thankless job, really.
It is a massively thankless job, and you've got that minute second to make that call. If you make that call too early, and the boxer goes, whoa, I'm all right, ref, I'm all right. You've gone in too early, or you've got the opposite effect, you've gone in too late. But ultimately, that referee is there to defend the safety and make sure that fighter is safe.
As a ref, but as a ref, kind of a silly question, but too early or too late, what would you rather?
100% too early. That boxer can walk away and he can box again. Too late, you don't know what can happen.
And we've seen, like, over probably the last 2 years, haven't we, a lot of serious injuries where fights have gone on a round or two too late. And so, I completely agree with that.
But at the same time, you look at Enzo Martinelli, and he was stopped.
Yeah.
Way too early, nothing wrong.
I suppose what Chris says, though, about, like, they can fight another day. Enzo got justice, he got his rematch, and
totally agree,
what happened in the second fight was probably what was going to happen in the first fight.
A fighter's always going to think they can go on and end up getting carried out on their shield. They will, like, you know, no one wants to quit. Even if you're hurt, you want to show face and say, I'm fucking fine. Like,
the fighter's their own worst enemy. They've trained for 12, 16 weeks for that one event. Again, they sold so many tickets, they don't want to go out as a loser. They want to give everything, they want to carry on until the end. Unfortunately, you are there to protect them, to ensure they don't get further hurt.
And your margin for error is a lot smaller than the fighter, because your decision's final. They can make a mistake, they might get clipped, but they can get back up. You know, it's not definitely the end. Your margin for error is a lot smaller.
Definitely.
There's that fight, Graham Earl and
Katsidis.
I can't say it. And his corner tried throwing the towel in, didn't they?
Yeah, Johnny.
And he kicks it out.
Oh, Mickey Van, was that Mickey Van? Yeah, and he booted the towel back out.
And you know, they had like a knockdown war for another round, but they were trying to throw the towel in. And that's the thing. And I suppose, like we said, if you make a mistake, they're going to jump on you. Everyone still talks about the George Groves, Carl Falk first fight too early. But if it's too late, as Dewey said, there could be a tragedy involved. You know, so for you, what's harder? Did you find competing? In the combats, what harder, or refereeing the combats, what?
The training is obviously harder competing, but I say it's harder probably officiating or refereeing because of that fine margin of detail. Particularly as you go into professional boxing now, these are people's livelihoods you're stopping. They could be on a 19-0 winning streak, and you make that call to stop that fight. You can set their wages for the next few fights down a level.
Same as a journeyman, they fight every week. If you stop them, that's a month.
They got 28 days they can't box. So you have that area of responsibility, but you've got to sort of stick by the rules and regs, and you make your call.
Do you ever, like, you look into fighters sometimes, and like Enzo's against Oval McKenzie, the first fight's a perfect example, that the referees seem to judge Enzo before the fight as being, you know, he had this reputation of being chinny, Over was a big puncher. Do you look into the background, or do you judge every fight the same?
I try to judge every fight the same. It's a minefield, especially going there and you've got favouritism, biasism. No, I try to fight neutral as I can. The brand, there's just two boxes, boxer A, boxer B, or red and blue, and that's that.
Does it make it hard, though, if you're like a fan of the sport, and then someone like Enzo comes in, and you're like, oh, he's my hero, but his last fight he got knocked out. Could you have that in the back of your mind? Because for me, I watch fights, and I have to turn like the commentary off sometimes on Sky Sports because they sway me. I'm like, oh, he's doing well, and then they'll say something. And I'm like, what do I know about boxing? Like, you know?
It does happen, but I reckon the reason why we notice it so much is because it's so rare. So when like George Grove's Carl Froch was another one, like everyone expected Froch to come on late, and the referee might have been 30 seconds too early in that first fight. It does happen, but I think it's very rare. That's why we remember it so much when it does happen.
True, very true. Talk about now. Touch quickly on it that you've been training for the past 2 years to become British Boxing Board of Control official referee, professional referee. When was the Swansea show? Last month?
3 weeks ago.
July?
July 22nd.
July,
I think.
yeah.
Just after my birthday, July.
You got your first bouts under your belt as an official professional boxing referee in your hometown. In the Swansea Leisure Centre, where you work, kind of all the stars aligned, dream scenario, and you officiated 3 bouts on the night. So, what was that like? Tell us.
Again, you nailed it there. It could not have been scripted better in a way. It's where I work, it's where I sort of manage a big team there, and I'm turning up there to make my debut in Swansea. It doesn't sort of get better than that. But obviously, prior to all that, is all the training I've done with the Boxing Board of Control for the last 2 years, as you said, attending shows, listening to referees who are currently doing combat sports, or like Rhys Carter, Martin Williams, and Dave Williams, watching them, Martin Williams, watching how they referee and learning from them as well. So I've sat ringside watching them, picking up their sort of skills and how they conduct themselves as a referee, and that all allowed me to step in and do it, and I think it went pretty successful.
Do you know what, just to add to that, where I think what referees are judged on is the decision making, but I think the officials you've quoted, that you've referenced there, they're all very good communicators. I think that's what separates average referees from very good referees, because you know exactly where you stand with them.
I think so.
You said, obviously you was at the show, you said that Chris, you was impressed by, obviously you'd expect some nerves. You'd expect nerves with it just being your first bout. But like you said, it's in a place of work, in your hometown. So I'd expect the nerves to be even more than usual. But you said all the bouts you couldn't find a fault to do.
No, I said you didn't look like a new referee as such, and you kind of fell into place, and you wouldn't have told any different. The only thing I did mention was they give you like hand signals from ringside, and they I don't know if they were meant to, but I don't know if it was between the rounds. Why don't they give you a earpiece just to tell you?
Is that because they could influence decision
it wasn't really hand signals. I suppose I was sort of looking there, making sure I'd done a good job. Nerves again. I mean, it's my time to sort of.
I thought they were trying to get your attention for something.
No. Way it works, guys. I'm still I'm doing my professional referee now. I'm still classed as a trainee referee. I just got the practical experience now, so I passed the sort of assessments to allow me to go into the ring. And the way that works then is that I referee the bout that takes place. I score it myself. However, there's a A-class referee ringside who is also scoring that bout as well. And it's their official scorecard that goes in. So I'm still classed as a trainee. But there was no sort of hand signal. I just put a look in. Am I doing a good job? Have I messed things up? And then at the end of the show, I had a debrief with Rhys Carter, and he explained a few things. Again, nerves were there. A few things I need to work on, but it all went well.
Said that I couldn't, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference if I was outside the sport. I wouldn't have known you were like a trainee referee.
Which is good in a way. So I've had that prior to the last 2 years, then 6 years of sort of refereeing a red and a blue corner, of competing with 2 different corner men, trying to influence the referee and so on. So I've had that experience. I think if I hadn't had that and just gone straight into the ring, a lot more nerves would have kicked in. I'd have been a lot more apprehensive to make a decision. Like, for example, if you remember the first fight, the boxer actually spat his gum shield out for a rest because he was getting beaten. You carry on boxing because are you looking for a break? I'll call the break. And I did that. I think it was the second round. And they were impressed with that. I didn't sort of flap and go, whoa, stop. I done it as the rules should be. So I had good feedback from that.
Do you know you had 2.5 years as a scorer at ringside? As doing your practical assessments, if you like now, do you have like a quota or amount of fights you have to do, or if you're ready, could it be the next job where you do both jobs?
It's when you're ready. It's what we'll do with the Welsh Area Council. They will then sort of, if they believe I'm ready, they'll recommend me to what they call a referees committee. On that, then you have A-star referees, recognisable across the UK. They will then sort of bring me in and sort of look at my sort of scoring. They will look at sort of the practical ability and the fight reports that they've received on me, and they'll then make a decision. Then if I then become sort of a full professional referee, what they call B class is the sort of entry level. So then from there, then you sort of, however many shows you do, you progress up that ladder. But I don't think there's an actual quota. It's whether you're good enough, whether you get the availability.
Yeah.
If you're good enough, you'll make it. Which, again, like you should be.
Yeah.
What, like you say, you've wanted to be a referee in whatever sport. You've gone down the boxing route.
Yeah.
What does the future hold? You're a young guy, you're in your 30s.
Yeah.
Referees, if you generally think of a referee, you think late 40s, 50s, whatever it may be. But you're, like you say, you're in your 30s, 10, 15 years, you're still going to be a young referee. So what's the long-term plan for yourself? And
that you're spot on there, and that's sort of reason why I sort of kept within that boxing sport. They are in their sort of 50s and 60s, so there's going to be a gap. Or they need boxers or referees coming underneath them. If I can sort of slide on that, I can build my experience at the local shows, build my way up, and the ultimate aim is, British title, European title, and world title at the end. Referee one of them.
Brilliant. Well, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Dewey, thanks for coming on. Boxing Wales, ain't going anywhere. It's staying there. Twitter, Facebook, you can get it all. Chris,
thank you.
Congratulations on making the grade and all the best, and we look forward to seeing you on some of the big shows.
Definitely.
On the Sky Sports and the Box Nations.
Yeah.
So